fish? Is she scared of it and she's holding the pole and throwing around? Jimmy said it's kind of like that. She was real scared of it. That was real cute. He loved his kids very, very much. And their lives and how they would go from today to forward was very, very important to him. I'm going to try to get emotional if I can. But Karen told me to have some memories, and I said, well, I've known him 62 years. She said, not 62 years, it's not, Karen. So I wrote some things down, and some of the things I remember about Jimmy, and one of the times he was fishing at his camp that you guys that are his buddies are here know where that's at. And he was fishing and he fell asleep on a tree. And he was there all night. And he woke up in the morning and said, Karen, I woke up in the morning and the spiders had got all over me. They had built a web in my entire body. I think they were going to eat me. Maybe. You know, but he was never afraid of spiders at all. And I know we had a neighbor that had a real bad bulldog, and they had never hardly ever mowed their yard, the Blairs. And so they had tall grass, you know, in the backyard, and he'd take rocks and throw it in the grass, and that mean old black bulldog would chase those rocks and bark, and we'd all laugh about it, teasing that dog. And then one time we were at my grandpa's deer lease, my Aunt Sheila, who's my cousin Mike's here, we know where that's at. And Mom and Dad would say, don't get in the water when the tugboat is pushing those boats around, because it creates a current and you'll get drowned. So it had went by, and then Jimmy, we're standing at the edge of the water, and Jimmy's going, like jumping towards the middle. And it scared me to death. I thought he was drowned, but he was in the current. You know, but he wasn't. And then one time I was surfing and I got in the undertow, and he shot my surfboard to me and saved my life, really. But he was also caught in the undertow, and he almost couldn't get out. But that day there were angels there that helped us both. Him and Michael, my brother, would always make faces when we were getting in trouble. We're supposed to be serious and listen to what we were getting in trouble for. They'd make faces and stick their tongues out. And of course, we got them back too. We went on trips. We put them in the middle, and Dad put his arm up on the seat, and when he wanted to get onto us, he just went bop like that. We two older girls realized that we're not getting in the middle. So the boys always got it. Recently, we took Jimmy, Charlotte and I took him to the movies. He hadn't been to a movie in 40 years. I can't remember what we saw. Actually, I got the ticket, but he had a real good time at the movies. And then we took him to the Ferris wheel, and just so happened that night that the blood moon was out. And that famous picture you see of a chair in the water and the blood moon behind it, that's exactly what it looked like that night. And when we went on the Ferris wheel, he was looking up at that Ferris wheel, and he just stared at it like a kid who was riding the ride for the first time. And they saw some fish out there, and he was explaining to Charlotte the kind of fish and what they meant and all that. He really, really appreciated that. I can't read my writing here. When I took him to look at the Brazos River, and his fishing holes were all over, and we talked about all his friends. He had some great friends, and they had the best stories ever, especially David. He's like David Bartek, he's like my brother, and James Hendricks is here. They're like my brothers. They love Jimmy so much. They have so many stories to tell, and they're so fun to listen to. But he was standing looking at the Brazos. He said, "It's my river," and it was. It was the most important river that he went in to fish. So fishing was something that my dad took him and the boys all the time. We girls were not supposed to like fishing. And I never understood that, so I grew up to like fishing quite a bit, and I liked to fly fish pretty well. And I enjoyed his fishing stories. Sometimes things happen to us in life that are sad, like losing Jimmy. And the reason they're sad to us is because he loved us, and we loved him. And we have these stories to reminisce about. He is no longer hurting or in pain or suffering. He's in God's memory. And it's really unfair that we have to deal with death today, because we weren't created to die. Adam and Eve was not created with a flaw, with an ability to not live forever. They were created to live forever, in immortality forever, everlasting. God created man and woman, Adam and Eve, and he didn't say, you're going to die after a while. They were supposed to spread the earth and subdue it and have it in subjection to them. Everything on the earth, and the whole earth would have been like that Garden of Eden that they were put in. But we know that didn't happen because most of us who read the Bible know why. Satan got involved. The blessings that God wanted to give to mankind, he couldn't give them at that time anymore. But he held out a promise. From the get-go, in Genesis 3:15, you'll find that promise where God said that he was going to straighten out everything. And that promise was that Christ would come, he would destroy what Satan did, and it would be replaced by that place that was lost in paradise. And some of the things, I've got some other things to share with you in a minute. I guess I should share these, but I'll share in a minute. You know, most of you know that Jimmy and I, we didn't share the same faith. We don't ever have a problem with that. Never did. But he was making a very careful study of the scriptures, and he was enjoying learning from that. Something that we had in common was that we had a love of the Bible, and we had a love of reading it together. And my Aunt Sheila, who's here, we love her. We love her. She's our favorite aunt. Don't tell any Doris. But she knows that our granny taught us the Bible, a love of the Bible. When we would have problems in life, even as a kid, she would open that Bible. She was Pentecostal. And she'd open that Bible, and that Bible came alive. Just like someone would sit with you as a young kid and read it, the storybook to you. It was the most beautiful thing in the world. So because of that, I think we had a love for learning more about the Bible, studying it, and we enjoyed that. Jimmy loved reading and hearing and talking about the resurrection. That was his hope. Reading about those asleep in death, that they were in no pain, that they were God's memory, and that they were waiting to be resurrected, and that they would awaken into a paradise earth. This is how he felt and what he believed. He loved that he would be in a perfect, healthy, happy, whole person where there's no sickness in that place. And the things that he loved was the peace and harmony and happiness and the ability to never have to die again and to live forever. He found reassurance and that sure hope. And he always loved hearing those scriptures because of that hope. Sometimes he would call me and ask me things, and I would share a scripture with him, and he loved it. He loved asking. And in fact, when the hospice lady came, they wanted to bring the chaplain, which, you know, that's up to everybody. But he said, oh, you don't have to bring the chaplain here. I'll ask my sister. She'll give you the answers. And we used different translations together as well, but mainly we used an English one. Some things about Jimmy is he wanted a good, strong relationship with God. That's what he wanted. He wanted to build his own home on a beautiful property and live there in peace. He was a dreamer, and he can still have those dreams. He wanted a good, solid, strong marriage. He wanted to build furniture and do woodworking like Jesus did, he said. He wanted to fish in areas he'd never been to, but he thought about, saw pictures of, or thought how nice it would be if I could just go there and fish. He wanted to go places and see things